What is going on, Rolling Empire here, guys? To just give you a video today, just go ahead, come sit down with me, relax, guys. Grab some, Coca-Cola, get some popcorn. Let's just talk it out for a bit. It's just, how are you guys doing? Okay, I'm doing good. I'm trying to, just hang in there, just live a good life, whatever I can. And just wanted to give you guys a talk. I was like, I'm gonna give you guys a top three list. I was just trying to think. I was like, what should it be this time? What should I have it in talks for? And I was like, oh yeah, let's give that a shot. I was like, why not? In honor of this kind of style, going back, the reactions, if you guys remember my channel, how it was, this is the reactions kind of thing. So I just feel like giving you guys like my top three, which probably won't be a surprise. So honestly, there you can save yourself a favor. You're probably gonna rewind, fast forward, keep it in play this whole video. Just keep it in any motion, keep it in play, keep this video however you want. It's all understandable, but here it is, my top three for the Thor movies. Okay, you might be surprised, you might be interested, you might be intrigued, you might just be like, okay, I agree and all that. But this is my top three Thor movies. Coming in at number two, coming in at number three. If that should hint a bit. Thor: The Dark World. Yeah, this movie is one of the weakest ones in the Thor trilogy. It's fine. It was interesting to see how it kind of felt very Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings in that sense. It's a nice style to it. It kind of deserves it. But at that point, there wasn't too much to it. Like Thor, it just felt very bland, generic. Even his character, even a bit comparing him to the first and the third, it could have had the potential. It looked good with the way it could have been presented, but the style wise, it was fine. It's just as the MCU kind of carries the MCU storyline, like it's very stationary. The comedy, this is one of the worst, like the worst that it shows what Marvel does in that. But yeah, it really could have been better. It could have been so much better. Coming in at number two is Thor. That one was, it kind of gets the the foundation, the layout of how a Superman is like, you know, he's this, being, he's like greater than like life in his world. He's gonna be king, but it's not exactly like Superman, but he has to be taken to our world, to Earth, and all that, and kind of adapt with the planet. And from there on, he starts meeting people. He starts kind of learning lessons. But as it goes on, it's like, what is this and what is all that? So it's nice to put him in that realm. And right there, like Chris Hemsworth, it's a nice balance to see how he has acting chops for Thor, but then how Thor has to kind of get used to what he eventually would become and pays off for like the Thor we love, at least we root for. Like they humanize him and they ground him a bit. And that Thor movie, isn't the greatest still, but it's still a more interesting, entertaining movie. It's like what kind of goes on, like what have you seen from the universe? You're like, this one is really good. It still is when it introduces everything. So I like, you get like introductions here and there, but particularly it's just nice to see him. Like Chris Hemsworth really does really good for the character in all the movies. So yeah, it's just kind of what's your flavor? What is your flavor of Thor? That's essentially what you really like in these movies. And then coming in at number one, Thor Ragnarok. That one just pays off. That one shows Chris Hemsworth have the comedic sharks. He just has, dude. It's like they were like, dude, you're so funny. We have to use you like in that realm for the character. And I still thought it was like Thor. Like, maybe there's that balance where he's like Thor in the beginning and then he's more Thor Ragnarok ish in what we see in the second half. But I still thought it was a nice balance. It was a nice way to have him team up with still like his co-Avenger Star Hulk, his family like Hela and Loki dealing with that situation. Some stuff were better than others of that film, but I still had a good time with this movie. The comedy, it could be very niche. It could be very just relatable to a certain kind of demographic. It's it might not be for everybody, but it still is entertaining. It was very clever, like the plot wise with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You could be like, it should have had a grander effect. It should have had a greater impact. Or in a way, it maybe does the way it sets up, but still, like seeing how from a filmmaking aspect, I really like the creativity that was brought with like the story. Like there was a lot of interesting comedy. It's like still Marvel, like there's Marvel comedy, but then there's this kind of comedy. And this is one of the greatest strengths of films for that. And then the story really, I like the humanization of what Thor goes through, what he goes through with like his sister, his brother, everything, just with himself particularly like realizing what kind of person he wants to be. So I like that's what they use from Thor. So let me know, guys. Those are my top three in that order, with a little bit of what I think of what I thought and all that of the films. What do you guys think? How do you guys think of my opinions, my thoughts of this? Let me know this on the comments below. And as always, roll an empire. Laugh, smile, repeat.